Don't come into my DM talking about what's good, ma. Let me be a guest on your show. Let me know when you need a guest. Just don't do it. There's a way that you can be courteous and be respectful to someone when you're trying to pitch yourself for a business opportunity. So let's talk about the art of pitching. Welcome back, I'm Alexandria, and thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Be sure to subscribe right below, click that link to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And also, if you didn't know, Stay Them the Podcast is now on iHeart, Apple, and Podbean. I'm so excited that this podcast is making its rounds, and we're just trying to, keep growing. So be sure to check out the previous podcast that has already been out there. You can now find them again on iHeart, Apple, and Podbean. So I'm so excited about that. And I'm just excited for the journey that I am going to be on and that I'm currently on. I'm very excited about it. And I'm so excited that you're here, that you're listening, that you're being fed by this content. In this video, I want to talk about the art of pitching yourself. This portion of what I'm talking about is actually in one of my courses. It's called Design Your Media Kit course. You can find that on my website, alexandriajones.com, to purchase that course. But I want to talk about pitching because I've had so many people reach out to me in DM and just even in person, and they'll say like, yo, I want to be a part of your event. And that's like the statement. Or let me know when you need a guest. And I just think it's kind of disrespectful. I just think there's a way that you can ask for something and have some etiquette about yourself and just have some respect for yourself and for me. Now, there is an art to pitching. If you think about your favorite content creator out there, they're pitching themselves to certain brands and businesses in order to have partnerships, right? So there's a way to go about it. I always like to think about this. Treat me how you would treat your supervisor, how you would treat the boss in your company. Just treat me with respect, because that's what I want to give to everybody else as well. We should be treating the janitor as well as the CEO on the same, treat them with both respect. Treat them with respect because we're human and we deserve it. I don't respect people based on rank and title. I don't respect that. I respect the person. And so, I know that's kind of like outside the point, but that is very important to me. And I honor my time. I honor my space. I honor what I'm creating just as well as I would honor that on your behalf and what you are creating. Pitching is very important, especially as it relates to my background. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that my career, it's been a journey. I started off in the military, did some PR work for a nonprofit. I mean, there's been a journey, right? But I want to get into that background, that backstory, and why we're here right now. So, when I joined the Michigan National Guard, I wanted to be a journalist. The role was actually called Public Affairs Specialist. Public affairs and public relations are very interrelated. The difference is public affairs is representing government agencies, whereas PR is on the commercial side. It's on that for-profit side. So you're still representing a brand, you're still representing a business. It's just two different bodies, two different agencies. So with public affairs, I was representing the Michigan Army National Guard. I was creating news stories about training operations regarding my unit, regarding the units in Michigan and what they were doing. So if I was sent out on an assignment, I had been to Latvia, I've been to Germany, I wrote news stories about the Michigan units that were there and that were training. Whereas PR, I've done this on the commercial side where I've actually represented like a beauty school. I have done nonprofit work. I have consulted with other nonprofits and things of that nature, which is all fun. And what I really love about it is just the question asking. I love asking questions. I love writing. I love research. I love all of that stuff. I'm a kid at heart, very curious about life and just all the inner workings of it. Now, as it relates to pitching, in my career, especially within the museum that I worked at, I had to pitch the museum to journalists, and I also had to pitch the programs that I was creating to people in the public to say, hey, I think what you're doing would be great and would fit for our Lunch and Learn program. For instance, I would reach out to professors, I would reach out to history enthusiasts. Whatever your background was, if it had some relation to history, I would email you and ask you to be a part of this Lunch and Learn program that I hosted weekly. God, that was so much. But I hosted it weekly, and I would ask you to be a speaker. Now, not once did I ever send an email and say, hey, come speak at my museum. Come speak here. You should be a speaker at my museum, and just leave it at that. I never did that. There's a way to ask for what you want and be respectful. There's a way that you can do it. So I want to talk about that. But before I get into pitching again, I do also want to share this. I've had people reach out who wanted to be a part of events, who wanted to be a part of this podcast. Now, again, I just started the podcast. I just started, so I'm still learning and I'm pacing myself. Eventually, I will probably reach out to you and say, hey, I want you to be on here. But allow for the timing to come, okay? Everything in life has a time. I truly think so. I was listening to a message and it was saying when you make a prayer to God, God already sends the package, but you just don't know when it will come. Right? So it's like Amazon. We know that package is coming in 2 to 3 business days. But, you know, with God, we're making these requests, but it may not come at the time that we want it to. So also, as you're talking about being a part of this platform or being a part of whoever platform or whatever you're trying to build, understand that it requires a time. It's all about timing. Sometimes you have to learn some things before you can get to this next level, or before you meet a certain person, or before you begin to start speaking. It's timing, because there's a learning process that has to happen in between. Now, third party wise, I've heard through other people, like, they've been upset because I didn't reach out to them to be a part of the events I've created. And to each his own, you know, everybody has their way of feeling about certain things. I completely get it. We are entitled to our feelings. But again, understand it's about timing. Understand that if you're doing great work, continue to do great work. It doesn't matter if I see you or if I ask you to be a part of anything. It doesn't matter whoever asks you to be a part of anything, or if they acknowledge you or give you an award for it. If you're doing great work that is truly coming from the heart, the validation should not matter. It just really shouldn't. Who cares what other people think? Who cares if they didn't ask you for something? Okay, so I want to say that. But also, if you do feel like you are doing exceptional work and you want to put yourself out there, definitely pitch yourself. Do that as well, because closed mouths don't get fed. No one will know that you wanted to speak or to be a part of a platform if you don't put yourself out there. So shout out to the people who are brave and who are courageous enough to vocalize their desires. Shout out to you for being brave and standing up for what you want. But I do think you can do that with respect and having some decency about yourself and some respect for the other person. So let's get into the art of pitching and why pitching is so important. So my first tip, when you're reaching out, whether you're reaching out through DM or you're reaching out through an email, greet the person. It takes nothing to say hello, their name. So, for instance, if I'm reaching out to someone, hello, Jane. Hello, John. Don't start off with, yo, let me be a part of this. Or, yo, let me be on your stage. Yo, let me be a part of your platform. That is not the way to go. Like, you, honestly, for me, it's already like a check off. Like, no. Like, it's an immediate no for me. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Tip number 2, offer up a compliment. It's showing the person that you've been following their work, that you admire their work. Because again, why would you want to be on somebody's platform or be a part of a podcast, be a part of an event, if you haven't even looked at their work? For instance, when I reached out to Renee Decro, she will be at the Stay Dumb Podcast live event on June 14th right here in Saginaw at Connections Event Space. So when I reached out to her, I greeted her, right? Tip 1, greeted her. But the second tip is I offered up a compliment. I had purchased her product. I had been to her coffee house. I actually been to our coffee house a year ago and I fell in love with it. I actually been to all 3 locations. She has locations in Midland, Bay City, and Saginaw. And I loved every one of them because I saw the detail that she put into her establishment. And the employees, the staff are amazing. And I didn't know who was behind it. Now, again, my PR brain is always working, and then I'm always thinking behind the scenes, like, who's behind this establishment? Who put this together? And y'all, I did my research and I found her, and I'm so happy that we are connected now and that she'll be a part of my event. But let me get back to tip 2. It's offer the compliment. Because I had been to her coffee house and because I love the environment, I shared that in my email. Hey, oh my God, I love your coffee house so much that I invited my friends there and we held a meeting when I was working on an event. I really love the staff and I love the details that you put into your establishment. That's it. Just offer a compliment. Again, for the person who reaches out, yo, let me be a part of your podcast or let me be a part of your platform. Have you even listened to anything that I've created? Like, have you been to any of the stuff that I've posted? Like, it takes nothing to show somebody a positive review. And again, it's not about the validation part, but it's just showing that you've done your research and you've done your homework. It's showing that what you're trying to offer me makes sense for what I'm creating. That tip 2 is offer the compliment or share that you've purchased their product or that you've enjoyed their service. Like, share something about their work because it shows that you see them. It shows them that you admire what it is that they're building and what they're creating. Tip number 3, introduce yourself. Okay, there are so many people, and this even outside of business. Let's just talk about people who want to take you out on a date. They don't even state their name. Now, sure enough, your name might be in your Instagram handle and maybe on your Facebook, whatever. But how many times do people use nicknames? Like, people actually put their nicknames as their Facebook name, or they'll have their business name in their Instagram handle. State your name. Simple. Just state your name. Introduce yourself and maybe the work that you do. So again, if you're reaching out as far as business, hey, I'm Alexandria Jones and I'm the host of Stay Dumb the podcast. I've let you know who I am and why I am reaching out to you. I don't care if I've met you in the past because you may have forgotten about me, right? Maybe we did know each other or had crossed paths at some point in our lives, or maybe we didn't. Regardless of the fact, just introduce yourself. Tip number 4, because y'all, I got it written down in my phone. I wanted to make sure I'm stating these tips very clearly to you. Tip number 4, ask for what you want. Why are you messaging them? Because honestly, people who are, if they have businesses, if they, just life is lifing for people, they have a lot on their plate. And you are probably one of many who are sending emails. You're probably one of many who are sending DMs. So why should I read yours? Why is yours so important than the rest of them? Ask for what you want. Don't just come into somebody's DM or to somebody's email and you have no purpose. Like, have some substance about what you're asking for. What do you want? What do you want from this person? Why are you reaching out to them? So again, in my case, reaching out to Renee. Hey, good morning, Renee. Good afternoon, Renee. I hope you're doing well. I enjoy coming to your coffee house. It was an amazing establishment. I love the details that you have put into building your coffee house. My name is Alexandria Jones, and I'm the host of Stay Dumb the podcast. And I'm reaching out to you because I would love for you to be a part of my event. Right? So I tell her what I want. I tell the person what I want. So if you're reaching out to somebody to be a part of their platform, tell them what you want. Hey, I want to be a part of your podcast. I would love to be a guest on your show. This is what I would talk about. So if you're a person who is reaching out to be a part of someone's platform, you want to be on their stage, more than likely, or at least I hope you have done your research and have looked at what they were creating, and you can tell them exactly what you have to offer. They shouldn't have to go and dig. They shouldn't have to go to your website and go through everything and say, oh, okay, I think this is what they would talk about. No, you can state that all in one email in one DM and be very brief about it. Hey, this is my name and this is the work I do. I would love to be on your podcast and this is what I would talk about. Very simple, very brief, straight to the point. After you ask for what you want, give them a call to action. So again, me reaching out to Renee, I've stated all that, tip 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm getting to the call to action. And basically what that means is, let's sit down and talk. Here's my number. What day works for you? I really like being direct in this portion, because I think if you leave it open, like, hey, let me know if you're interested, and then you close it out, it doesn't put pressure on the person. I think if you want to be direct and really get the conversation going, you have to give them a time and date to when you want to talk. So look at your schedule. Maybe you want to have a phone call with them and you say, hey, would you be open to having a phone call or phone conversation with me on Tuesday at 9 a.m.? If not, I do have other availability. Please let me know. So you're being very direct and you're being brief about, again, that ask, and you're being brief about that call to action. Let them know when you want to talk to them. Give them a date and time so they know, okay, let me look at my calendar. This person wants to talk to me on this date. Again, if you're reaching out to somebody to be a part of their event or to go on a date, whatever you're trying to do, give them a date and time. Be very direct and be very specific with your request. And then after that, just close it out. Thank you for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. That's all it takes. Don't hop into somebody's DM and be disrespectful, talking about some, let me know when you want to be a guest, or I want to be a guest. Don't do that. Just show some respect for yourself and for that other person. So I had to do this message. And I don't know if it'll change anything. I hope it changed. I hope it changed some things, because I've had some experiences in DM, and what I want you to take away is the way you show up in somebody's DM. Ask yourself, would you say these things in person? And I know some people out there have said some really reckless things in DM. Ask yourself, would you have said that in person? And if you know you wouldn't have the balls to say that in person, please don't do it in DM. I know that we live in this world now where this internet is kind of blurring the lines of reality, but people like me, I still believe in in-person contact. I still believe in respect. I still believe in being courteous. So I hope this video helps you. I hope you are able to take some notes about the art of pitching. It really is so simple, guys. It's so simple. Greet the person. Give them a compliment. Tell them of the work that they are doing. Share with them why it's so important to you or how it resonates with you. Introduce yourself. I don't care if your name is in your Instagram handle or on your Facebook, whatever. Introduce yourself. Fourth tip, ask for what you want. Don't just send emails out of nowhere and you have no substance to it. People have lives and they're trying to handle their business. So for me, it's always about honoring the person's time. The fact that you're reading my message, I thank you, because I know your time is valuable and I want to honor it. So whatever I'm asking of you, just know that I'm going to be direct. I'm going to be very brief. And I just want the same for you when you're reaching out to somebody. Honor that person's time. And maybe you don't respect your time. I don't know. Maybe you don't value your time. I don't know. But I value mine. And I value me taking a moment to read your message. So just, again, have some substance behind it. And then also give them that call to action. Do you want to have the phone call next?